All right, everyone, welcome to another weekly recap. This is Trader Travis, and I have my co-trainer Peter on the line. And we are back this week. This will probably be short and sweet. Peter said he didn't have much, but he wanted to give you a short lesson on patience. Now, Peter, you don't need to show your screen, do you, right now?
No,
Okay,
I
great.
don't.
Go ahead, take it away, and then I'll show my screen after you finish talking.
Okay, cool. Thanks, Travis. So, hey, welcome everyone. So, Travis and I were just talking, and it's like I don't have anything because if you guys remember from last week, I said I'm following the Market Club template. For those of you guys in the Success Academy, you know what we're talking about. For those of you guys that are not in the Success Academy, you should pay attention. If that's what you want to learn, you could join the Success Academy and learn that. But basically, the Market Club template is a template Travis teaches us. And it's a very simple template, and it's pretty much like a go, no-go kind of template. And right now it's at no-go. Actually, just to kind of caveat on that, I did look at, so in the template, for those of you guys that know the template, it's got the monthly, weekly, daily trade triangles. We mainly go by the monthly, the weeklies. We may use a daily for timing, that kind of thing, but for the most part, we use the monthly and weeklies. So all my stocks that I follow, to include the indexes, still have red monthlies on them. So I got to wait for those monthlies to go green, and then I've got my green light to go ahead and I can start trading. So interestingly, I kind of back tested all my stocks that got weekly greens when after the market did its correction and started coming back, everything went back to weekly greens. And I could have done credit spreads, or I could even probably traded some calls and made money, because all of the weeklies, except I think only one stock of mine, the weekly didn't pan out and it didn't go down. It just went kind of up and then back down to where it was at when it hit the weekly. So who knows what would have happened. But I could have made money in some credit spreads. But I think the interesting lesson here is patience. Patience is one of the things I struggle with. I know a lot of other traders in the Success Academy struggle with patience. You don't want to miss that boat. And I always talk about it. Hey, there's another one coming in, so you haven't missed the boat. Trust me. So that's what I'm doing. I have no trades. The only trades I open right now, I have some AT&T covered calls. I monitor those every day, but those are a set it and forget it strategy anyway, because I sold two of them I sold above my cost basis. So if I get exercised, I make even more money. The other one I sold at my cost basis. So if I get exercised, I still make money. I just don't make as much money, is the best way to put that. But they're not things I have to worry about. If they exercise me, it's not a big deal the way I did the trade. So outside of that, I'm watching Macy's. I talked about Macy's. It's starting to come back. It's at 25 and some change. Today looks like an up day. Who knows? It's kind of on, I think it's on a defibrillator right now because it goes up and down, up and down. So who knows? That's another one. I'm going to wait and see what happens with it, because I don't want to obviously sell it at a loss. So, which has never been part of my plan. So I just got to wait longer. The one last thing I am going to cover, though, or share with you guys. So we talk about, January 16th was 1 year since I retired from the military. And I was thinking about this. I'm like, maybe I'll go buy, a new putter or something. And instead, I decided to take all the money I was going to spend on myself for that 1 year anniversary, and I'm actually going to dump it into my trading account. So I actually thought about it. I'm like, you know what? Instead of that, I'm going to do this. But I am going to surprise my wife this weekend. Hopefully I can get it done. There's a bed frame we were waiting to buy, and I saved up the money for it. So me and Gabby, after we drop off our little pooch at the groomers, we're going to go buy it and set it up. Get Tony's away for the weekend. So,
good stuff.
So anyway, that's it. That's all I have trading related. And I think an important point that I threw in there was dumping money into my account. Every month I dump $250. That's automatic. And I'm going to actually dump another $1,000 into it this week. So that'll bring that little small trading account, Travis, by the time I started that in June.
Yeah.
So this coming June will be 1 year of that trading account. Started with $5,000 with all my contributions, as well as I made 20. That account is up 33%, 34%. On the trading side, though, I generated 12% in returns in 6 months.
Not
pretty
bad.
darn good.
That's good.
So I will probably be by June. I haven't done the calculation. I've been doing it in my head. I'll probably be close to 10K on that account in 1 year. So that's pretty good. I'll take it.
Pretty good is understatement. There is no wealth without savings. And that's the frustrating thing for me as a coach. You take a $5,000 account, you're going to almost double it in a year, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I have people who approach me with a $5,000 account. They're looking for the magic bullet, the bright, shiny object, the way to double it in a few months. They're taking risky option positions. And I'm like, no, get out of debt, save your money, invest prudently. You followed that blueprint. It's the same blueprint every other financially independent person I know followed. You've almost doubled your account. In the same time, they probably lost half of their account because they're trying it the get rich quick way. So I hope people, I'm going to keep hammering this message home. You've got to, you can do whatever you want, but I'm just sharing a wealth blueprint. There's no wealth without savings. Get out of debt is part of that. Anyway, let me shut up. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to caveat to that. I never did that until I joined your program. And even after I joined your program, I focused mainly on making money. And now I focus, you've directed me in the right way. It's like, focus on your risk. The making money part will come.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And the reality is, it doesn't matter to me. This is, again, we talk about this. You guys got to do what you got to do. But the way I look at it, I have certain financial goals. If you're relying on someone else or something else for 100% of that goal, you're going to be disappointed. You're going to be disappointed 100% of the time. And the reason I say that is because the market cannot, even as good as you can do in the market, it's never going to give you 100% of the goal you want.
No.
I learned that the hard way with my 401k. We talk about it all the time. So the bottom line is, so the way I look at it is, instead of the way I used to be, it's like, hey, most people, if they had an extra $1,000 and they wanted, new golf clubs, which I want, because that's what that money was for. I don't really need new golf clubs. I'd rather invest that money. And you know what? Next year, I'll probably be able to buy new golf clubs with the money I will have, because I've not only saved, but invested that money I saved as well. So.
Sure. Yeah. That's a good point. And can I touch on the 401k comment?
Sure.
That's actually one of the things I was going to talk about. I don't need to show my screen. Like I had a very kind person on YouTube give me some feedback on my insurance video and said it was misleading and all this other stuff, what they call them, internet trolls, right? Because I recorded a video showing how I was losing like $4,000 on a stock I purchased, but based on the principles I teach Success Academy members, I bought insurance for that stock. Yes, insurance has costs like any insurance, but my insurance was free and I use other strategies to pay for it. So anyway, I recorded a video showing me filing my insurance claim, exercising the option, whatever the heck you want to call it. He had an issue with me calling an insurance. I'm like, I've wrecked a car before. I filed an insurance claim. I got my money back. My stock lost $4,000. I filed an insurance claim. They gave me all of my money back that was lost. It was put back in my account. So I recorded a video showing people this because I'm like, this is truly a game changer. Like, it truly changed my life. Peter's 401k was decimated in the market crash of 2007, 2009. I'm not going to back down. I don't care how many troll comments I get, like, oh, it's misleading people. I'm going to be in your face with this, because if Peter had understood this concept or knew about this concept before his 401k was gutted 40 to 50%, he would have probably retired a multimillionaire, because in his 2 decades of working, he went through 2 market crashes. So imagine if somebody had caught him in the beginning and said, hey, there's a way to insure your stock market portfolio so you don't have to sit and suffer and bend over and take all these losses like they say you should. It would have changed his life. So bring the comments on, because I'm going to keep calling it insurance, because that's what it is. It's protecting us against losing money. With that rant being said, do you have anything else to say before I show my screen?
The only thing I could say, Travis, to those that post the negative comments or whatever they want to say, to the 12,000 subscribers you have, you can either listen to Travis, who's showing you exactly, and that I haven't watched the video, but I'm going to watch the video anyway, but it's a video I've already watched because you taught us how to do that in the Success Academy. So if you don't want to, I think he said it's not called insurance, it's called a hedge. Call it a bush if you want to call it a bush. I don't care. But do your research. If you look at the whole reason behind options, they were for insuring portfolios. This is how rich people insured their mega portfolios. So, and if you don't want to believe Travis, which I don't know why your 12,000 subscribers would believe one person over you, because you're the one that's been teaching them and you consistently teach us how to make money. But more importantly, you consistently teach us how to not lose money. Then go troll over onto Warren Buffett's site and see how many insurance contracts he talks about in his letters to, and his insurance contracts. That's right, you guessed it. They're put options.
Yeah.
Huh?
4.9.
He doesn't call them. He doesn't call them hedges. He calls them insurance. And then he invests it. So bottom line, that's the only thing I wanted to say. So for those of you that I like to, we were kind of talking about this. It's just, we're just going to focus on the positive people that we know we help. And if you have a negative comment, you want to post it, fine. I certainly won't respond to you. And I don't think Travis will anymore, because we don't have the time for that. Out of the one person that's negative, there's 300 of you that are very positive that love these videos. So that's what we'll focus on, helping you guys.
Oh, for sure. Well, keep the troll comments coming. They get me fired up. I'm like, cool, let me dig even deeper in this, because I'm going to keep changing lives. What they say, either be completely hated or loved. Like, if people are indifferent, you're not doing your job. So, go ahead, hate me. It's going to make me work harder that much to get this message out to you. So with that being said, can you see my screen, Peter?
Yep.
All right. So Peter talked about the Market Club template. So I won't cover that template. It won't be fair to the people who are part of that program, but we'll look at the signals here. Here's what Peter's talking about. Let me just actually show you on the S&P 500. So is a software, third-party software. Is not my software, but it gives us entry and exit signals. So we have monthlies, weeklies, and dailies. And I won't take time to explain those in this video, but just know that right before the market took a dip in October, well, actually before October, right here on October, I think 8th, we had a weekly trade triangle, red. Lets us know, hey, time to get out your positions. The market is most likely going to fall. What happened? The market actually did fall. Right after that weekly, we got the monthly here on 10/23. That means all cash. That means, doesn't necessarily mean all cash. It means either all cash or get into bearish positions where you make money when the stock falls. What happened? The stock actually fell. So we use this to help us time our entry and exit signals. So what Peter is saying is, hey, we have a green weekly, but we still have a red monthly. And so Peter's saying, hey, I'm staying on the sidelines until it says all go, and then I'm getting in my trade. So that's why Peter's sitting on the sidelines. Me, I'm a little bit more aggressive. I'm conservatively aggressive. So for example, Starbucks, I teach 2 templates. The full blueprint is what Peter's talking about. Also teach something called a 10-minute strategy, and that's for people to kind of get their feet wet. You don't have to sit on the sidelines for a long time. If you follow the full blueprint, your chances or probabilities of success will probably be higher. Well, not probably. In my experience, they will be higher than if you follow the 10-minute strategy, because the 10-minute strategy is so you to get in all the time, just to see proof of concept, right? So Starbucks gave a 10-minute strategy entry. And so I got into Starbucks here. Starbucks had earnings last night, and earnings is doing okay. And so that position, let's see if I can pull up that platform here, Starbucks. So it's showing so far profit and loss $596. But there's a thing, going back to the insurance concept. Call it whatever you want. I really don't care. I insured this trade. Why? Because of 2018, I had so many profitable trades turn into losing trades. It was completely frustrating. I felt almost helpless, which is ridiculous, because I'm like, I'm not a helpless little victim. I can do something about this. And so I went to the drawing board. And I was like, you know what? 2019, I'm insuring not only my entire portfolio, but I'm insuring every single trade I make, every individual trade I'm making, I'm insuring. So even if Starbucks wasn't doing great today, I would have been fine if it crashed in price, because I bought insurance that would have kicked in and made money when the stock fell in price. Next, we have a stock right here. And this is a quick 2-minute tip for you. All right, we pull up Market Club. You're like, people look at this and like, whoa, these trade triangles, they take every single signal. And this goes back to why you need a mentor or financial education. Okay, this is another stock that just signaled for a green monthly. And so people not familiar with this would take this and like, well, it had a green trade triangle. And when they lose money, they're wondering, they blame the software instead of taking personal responsibility for their decisions, right? No, you need someone that has experience with this to say, okay, look at the story the stock is telling you. What has the stock been doing the last 2 years? It's been going down, even despite the green monthly trade triangles. So Starbucks didn't do that, right? If we look at Starbucks, the signals have been relatively reliable. Well, I'm looking at this one, and the stock has ignored the signals and it's kept going down. So this is an example of, yeah, just because I have a trade triangle doesn't mean every trade is going to be profitable. You need experience with this. And my experience tells me, ignore this stock because the trade triangles are not effective with this particular stock. And so I bypass on it. So that's my tip there for people who think we don't share anything of value. So next thing I want to look at here, the last thing I'll show you is SPY. A lot of people are confused. I don't say this a lot. I say my long-term stock holdings, I only buy stocks during market crashes, and I don't like to sell covered calls on them. I don't like to rent out my stock shares for extra income on those holdings. And people are like, well, why? It's easy money and this and that. Here's why. SPY, it was up 0.85% today. Okay, I own 400 shares in, let me come to my IRA account. This is the model account we have this year for the program, right? I own 400 shares of SPY. I bought at the worst time ever, which is great. I love buying stocks at a market top so I can show people you can buy that, have the absolute worst timing ever and still profit, which I had the absolute worst timing ever. I bought this stock right before it crashed in price. So it's showing profit and loss open 10,000. I'm down 10,000, which is not a big deal. I'll get this back with no problem. But what I want to show you is profit and loss today. $1,100. Let's see on the stock. No, actually $932 on the stock. $1,100 with all the other strategies I have here. So 926 is what I want you to focus on. That's how much I'm making today on that one stock. $926 I made in one day. Okay, and people are like, well, why don't you sell covered calls? Okay. Well, I made $900 in one day on 400 shares. Okay, so let's come out here to a weekly covered call here. Oh, no, actually, let's come out to a monthly covered call because people sometimes sell covered calls about 30 days out. They rent out their stock shares, so a 30-day rental policy is what I like to say. And they may sell this call option right here against their shares. If you don't know anything about covered calls, don't worry. You're just renting out your stock shares for income. It's just like having a vacation home you rent out. You're giving people the right to buy your house from you for a certain price. You're giving people the right to buy your stock from you for a certain price. In exchange for that, they're going to pay your premium. So $457 or $58 per contract I'll get on 400 shares so I could sell 4 of these. Okay, I made $1,800. People are like, that's what people get caught up on. I made $1,800. Yes, but it's 30 days of profit. You have to wait 30 days to get that profit. Well, I'm making more on the stock shares than I would on a covered call. I made 900 in one day. So if the market is up another 8.8% tomorrow, this will go to another 900. So I would have made 1,800 in 2 days. So does that make sense, Peter? You make more actually with the stock shares than you will with the covered call. So, and of course, that's if the market keeps going up. But if it doesn't, I don't care. I have insurance, right? So that's why I strategically only rent out my stock shares when I think it's a high probability that I will keep my profit from renting out my stock shares and keep the stock. Because I've watched this over the years and like, this doesn't make sense. I'm actually making more money just holding on to the stock shares. So buy and hold investors are right. You can actually make more money with stocks, but I know options. That's easy money for me to rent out my shares. So I wait until there's an optimal point that I look for, and then I rent out my shares, and there's a high probability that I'll keep the profit from renting my shares, and I still get to keep my stock. So it's the best of both worlds, in my opinion. So that is all I had for you today, just to share those two concepts. And I wanted to show you the profit today on my stocks because some people are confused as to why I don't, sell covered calls all the time on my stocks. And that's why, because I've watched it and I'm like, I can actually make more money if I just leave my stock shares alone and let them appreciate in value. So,
and the only last thing I wanted to, because it made me think about it, and it goes back to that, I know that guy's comment and everything, and I don't want to focus too much on it, but I do want to say this to those of you guys that do watch the videos, that get value out of the videos. If you're thinking, if you're not a part of our Success Academy and you're watching our videos in the hopes of being financially savvy, I can tell you it's not going to work. Our free videos are not going to teach you what we know, and they're not designed for that. We never designed these weekly recaps to teach you how to do what we're doing. We designed these weekly recaps. It was more designed towards our members to give them almost like it's kind of like your coach calling you and saying it's time to come to the gym. You know, why do I fail miserably at going to working out when I used to do it religiously when I was in the Air Force? It's a no-brainer, because when I was in the Air Force, I was required to go work out every morning. I had to go do the work. I had a coach that said, hey, if you want to continue to get paid, you got to come work out. So that's what these videos are designed for. So the guy had mentioned transparency, the whole 9 yards, and people throw that term around like a buzzword. We don't. Travis is the most transparent. Do we always make money on our trades? No.
Heck no.
But the reality is we don't lose tons of money at the end of our trading years.
Nope. That's
the number one objective. So don't watch these videos and think you can open up a brokerage account and start doing what Travis is doing. Because if you do that, that is the same as putting a blindfold on and trying to cross Fifth Avenue in New York City during rush hour traffic. It's a dumb thing to do, and you're not going to be able to do it. If you want to learn how to do what Travis and I do, then go out and get a good coaching program to teach you how to do it.
Yeah.
I obviously always plug yours because that's what I belong to, and I've tried others, and they just, to me, didn't compare to what I get through Travis. So I know that was a lot longer than probably expected, but I think it's important that people understand. I'm sorry, I'm not going to be responsible for your actions just because I put out a video showing you what I do. You still have to take ownership. I could show you how to use a handgun all day long. If you happen to shoot yourself in the head, I'll be damned if someone's going to blame me for it.
You know they will. There's a bunch of losers in the world that will blame you because they don't want to take responsibility. So,
so anyway.
You know what? I did forget one thing as you were talking. It's totally off subject, but I forgot. I forgot to talk about my trades. I am going to play some trades next week. I don't have any today. I actually got called out. Thank you, Peter. Peter, he's my friend. What do we call it? Friend and mentor. Yeah. So I used to be like, I'm going to squeeze out every last bit of money for my trades, and I take them all the way to the end. Peter's like, no, when I hit like 80% of the potential profit, I'm closing them. So I started doing that this year. Not only that, I started setting up automated orders. I'm like, why didn't I do this 18 years ago? Like, I'm always at the computer and waiting for it to hit a certain price and an exit. Well, now I'm putting everything automated. And this morning I woke up and I had 2 positions filled. I hit max profit. They were closed out. I'm like, gosh, I didn't even have to be at the computer. I'm like, wow, it's like having my money truly working for me now. And so I'm making some trades next week. I'll send out a trade alert to members because this year I want to do better with showing you the trades I'm making before I make them. So I'll send out a trade alert to you over the weekend. I'm going to be selling more stock insurance to someone else. I want to insure someone's portfolio. Like all insurance salespeople, I'm going to get paid a premium. So I'm going to send that trade alert out to you. The specific days I've targeted during the week that I'm going to make these, and I'll give you those days, the strikes and all that. And then I have a couple other cash flow strategies, AKA credit spreads I want to make. So I'll send those to you. And like we talked about in our recent live call, Success Academy live call, I'm going to give you the balance risk blueprints, the insurance blueprints, so that you'll see that, like my trade I went over in the live call, I had a potential loss of like 360. And because I bought insurance for the trade, the loss wound up being 37 because the insurance kicked in. So I'll send all that to you over the weekend. Well, by the time we release this, it'll be Monday. So just know if you didn't get that trade alert, check your email because I will be placing trades next week. And then next week's recap, I'll be able to review those with you. So with that, hey, that's it. I hope you found some value in this. Thank you for your grace and your patience with listening to our rants about internet trolls. We get fired up about that. Gives us something to talk about. So makes life interesting. So you all take care. We'll see you next week. And haters, bring it on. We're ready for you. All right. Bye.
All right.